Welcome to Mamahood After Trauma, where healing and mamahood intersect. I'm Emily, your host. Join us as we discover practical strategies to nurture ourselves with kindness and understanding. Stay tuned for insights and inspiration to support you on your path of healing and growth. Let's dive in together. This is Mamahood After Trauma. Hello there, Mama. Welcome to this episode of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. My name is Emily Clickhorn, and I am your host. Today, we are privileged to hear from Donna Wallace. She comes to us from Australia. Healing from childhood trauma can feel like you are peeling back layers of an onion, only for you to be triggered time and time again. Who can resonate with that? It can feel frustrating and be re-traumatizing and make you wonder if things will ever get better. Our children inevitably ask us to be the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. We are motivated to be the best possible mothers we can be, to rewrite the patterns of our families, and that often lead us to healing our childhood trauma once and for all. Donna helps people all around the world to switch on their lights. With over 25 years of energy healing experience, Donna has found the most powerful and effective techniques for you to heal and become the radiant soul that you are. From emotional and trauma healing to creating jewelry that energetically activates you, her motto is work that works. Without further ado, here is Donna.
Hi, my name's Donna Wallace and I'm from Australia. I'm an energy, emotional, and trauma healer, and I've been doing energy healing work for over 25 years, nearly 30 years. And the reason why I'm on the path that I am and I do the work that I do is to first of all, I had to figure out how to heal all of the stuff that I experienced and went through. And second of all, I wanted to create something in the world and give people the same opportunity that I've had, which is to really set yourself free from the trauma that you've experienced. And so that's why I'm here. I'm also a mama. I have a beautiful son whose name is Archie. He's nearly turning 13 in a couple of weeks, and my daughter Violet, who has just turned 9. And so, one of the things that I know after having experienced my own trauma is that when we have children and we are trying to show up and be the parent that we want to be, often trauma gets in the way of that, or the lasting effects of trauma get in the way of being the kind of mothers that we want to be. And that in itself is heartbreaking. And also motivation. It's also really motivating, right? It's motivating because you know that of all the things that you want to do in your life, being present and being that the mother that you've always dreamed you can be, showing up as that is everything. And so if that's why you're here, then listen along, because I want to share with you one of the healing modalities that I experienced that actually healed the stuff for me, actually healed the trauma for me, and changed my life, really. It sounds dramatic, but it's like super true. So I've experienced a number of different traumas, and I think that it really is it doesn't matter exactly what trauma we've all experienced, and it does at the same time. Like, you need to be seen and you need to be understood and you need to be felt in everything that you've been through. So from that perspective, it absolutely matters. But everyone's traumatic experiences are so personal, so individualized, so nuanced that this is why I do one-on-one healing work, because we need to go into like your particular experience and how it's specifically affected you. So, I tried many different modalities over the years, so many different modalities, and from trauma counseling and sexual assault counseling to um, oh, you name it, I've tried it. And I had these ongoing triggers in my life. A couple of them specifically were that I didn't feel safe, full stop. I didn't feel safe that to be out in the world. I felt like I might get attacked or something might happen, or I might run into the man that assaulted one, like a man that assaulted me. I had this underlying feeling of not being safe in the world. And the other things that kept happening was I kept getting triggered, particularly within my birth family, around really petty, menial things that actually just rocked my world. And so, petty, menial things is like little things that could happen, but the reaction that I had was so big on the inside, and it just basically de would keep derailing me. And so, I knew that there was still things that I needed to resolve from my childhood. And also from sexual assault that I'd experienced later on in my life. And where I came to was I can't effectively be the mum that I want to be. I can't show up open-heartedly, feeling safe and grounded within myself to give them that feeling of safety and feeling peaceful and at ease and able to have a lot of fun without me being like that. And I knew that how I was being was setting the tone for them. I could see that my kids would pick up energetically what I was feeling, and they would be little mirrors showing me just where, where I was out of balance or out of whack or where I was off emotionally. And that is probably one of the hardest things about motherhood that I found, is that they are these gorgeous little mirrors for us. And in doing so, show us all the parts of ourselves where we still need to tend to and address. So I really, over the course of my healing journey, I got really annoyed about the stuff that didn't work. Like, what's the point of doing this modality or that modality when it just keeps resurfacing over and over again? And it sent me on this mission to find like what actually worked. And I was lucky enough to come across a healer who was also a family constellation therapy therapist. And that modality was the one thing that joined all the dots for me. It it basically opened up, first of all, when we experience trauma. Trauma to me is like this octopus that we've got over our face, and it doesn't matter where we look anywhere this way or that way, all we can see is this octopus on the top of our face. And that do you know what I mean about that? When we experience trauma, basically it is affecting so much of us. When it's unprocessed trauma, when it's still not healed, it hasn't been resolved for you, it gets in the way of everything. It gets in the way of you being present. You can't see your children for how they really are. Or maybe you can even look at how perhaps your parents may have experienced trauma and they weren't able to be present, or they weren't able to give you the kind of love or care that you really deeply needed. Um, and so we know that trauma has a huge impact. Um, from a family constellation therapy, to give you a little brief basic understanding of it, is an energy field that sits around your family system. And just like you and I have an energy field, we call it an aura. That energy field governs us. It tells us how to behave. It tells us what to do. So let me give you another example of that. When you see birds flying in the sky in a V formation, they have there's a biological phenomenon called a morphic field. That is an energy field that is around those birds flying in the V formation. That energy field tells the birds how to fly in a V formation and where to go, how to behave, and how to fly into the front of that V, how to drop back into the two lines behind, all of those things. Um, that is the same in family constellation therapy. We also have a morphic field that is our family system, or the energy field of our family system. That energy field that you're a part of with your birth family governs you. It tells you how you can behave. It tells you how you need to show up in the world, what you can do, what you can't do, like what feels comfortable and what doesn't. And it is, let me go back a step. If you think about when you're born into a family system, you have a biological need to survive. You need to survive. And therefore, you need to belong. You have a biological need to belong to your family system. And you'll always have that feeling of needing to belong to your family system. So, whether you've experienced trauma within your birth family or not, there is this need to belong with them. And if you have experienced the trauma with your birth family, you might have this sort of like two-way push-pull kind of experience where on one hand, you want to keep them far away. You've got your hand out to them, like you want to distance yourself from them. And on the other hand, there's a feeling of being drawn back into the family system, like you want to belong still, or a part of you at least wants to belong, even if you know it's unhealthy. And so, um, that need to belong to our family system will have us repeating patterns within our family and, generations before us that is kind of unconscious. So, for instance, let's talk about one particular example of abuse. So, we'll talk about physical abuse. Perhaps that's been a pattern in your family system where, for a number of generations, the parents have hit the child to try and dominate and control them and make them conform, or punish them or use that as punishment. Um, you might not want to hit your child, but there might be something that happens where you are, or find yourself almost unconsciously doing that. And whether that, just pick any example, whether physical abuse is relevant or not. Um, you when we have a need to belong to our family system, we find ourselves doing things that we're not always committed to doing. There is this sort of like unseen hands pulling us back into these repeating patterns because on some level we just really want to belong. We really want to fit into our family, and we really want to. We think that we need to do that to survive, and that is still programmed into us even as adults. So another thing about trauma in the family system, or unprocessed trauma in the family system, is that it sits there in the field of the family system as a big boulder. You can think about it like an octopus on your face, or you could think about it also like a big boulder in the field of your family system. In the energetic field of your family system, you are meant to be receiving all of this love and life force energy and support. I'm going like this because you're meant to be receiving it from behind you. And there are a couple of things that hinder that. So you're meant to feel in your body, you're meant to feel really deeply loved, you're meant to feel supported, and you're meant to be getting life force energy. We're meant to get to life force energy in two ways. You're meant to get it from source or the divine and Mother Earth, that's one way, and you're meant to get it from the field of your family system, that's the second way. Now, if you're not getting all of the love and the support that you need, then there can be a couple of reasons for that. First of all, there might be unprocessed trauma in the field of your family system, acting like big boulders there, and it's prohibiting the flow of love coming through. And second of all, um, everyone in your family system is meant to be standing in a particular position and performing the rightful roles. Now, have you ever parented your parent? Have you ever, as a child, been the mother to your mother or the mother to your father? If you have, then, and that's relatable for you, then that is actually you performing the wrong role. In the family system, you're meant to be there as a child from like in the situation with your parents, they're meant to be giving you all of their love and their life force energy and their support. You're meant to be receiving it, not giving it as a mother. But when it comes to your own children, you're meant to be freely giving it to them, and they're not meant to be like, of course, love can flow both ways, but this life force energy and this support is meant to go from the parents into the child. So there can be a couple of different reasons why, or like a couple of different reasons or categories as to why love and life force energy isn't flowing into you. Now, why is this important? This is important because you want to be the mother that you can be. You want to be free, to be open-hearted. You want to feel really loved up, like not just a fleeting thing. It's really important that you feel loved and that you feel supported and that you have this life force energy coming into you, because then it can flow through you and into your children. You want to make sure that any trauma that you've experienced is actually processed and healed properly so it doesn't kink that flow of life force energy moving from you to your children, or in the other case, from your family into, like, from your parents into you. And so when you experience trauma, you can heal it in a way. So yes, you're always going to have that as a past experience in your life, but you can heal it in a way where you no longer have those triggers, where you no longer have the effects of that trauma impacting how you're feeling or how open you are in terms of being present and loving with your kids. So it is really important, and we can use family constellation therapy to heal trauma. So if you've had trauma in your birth family, whether it's with your parents or any other members of your family, then it absolutely gets healed within your family system using family constellation therapy. And also, if you've experienced any kind of trauma that is outside with a person outside of your family system, then family constellation therapy can actually be used for that as well. Now, I'm sharing about this because, as I said to you before, I was on a mission to heal my own trauma and to become the mother that I wanted to be, and to just feel happy and safe, and yeah, that I could just give my kids all the love that I wanted to, and not really, and not be distracted, not be kind of distracted with that octopus over my face anymore. And yeah, family constellation therapy has been the most amazing tool for that. It has been phenomenal because it's actually resolved the issues and the problems that I've had. It's meant that I have been able to set healthy boundaries with people in my family. I've been able to absorb all of the good, like now I can receive all of the good things they've got to offer me, and I just leave the rest behind, where there's behaviors or patterns of behaviors or personalities that are behaving in ways that are outside of what is my values, then I just leave all of that behind. But I'm still able to receive love, and I'm still able to receive support, and I'm still able to receive all the good things they can give me. And the cool thing about family constellation therapy is that we do this in, as I said before, in the energy field of your family system. So you don't have to talk to the people. Like, you don't have to talk to your mum or your dad or a perpetrator. You don't have to talk to them. This doesn't have to be done through talk therapy. You don't have to have a relationship with them. They could be alive or have passed away, and we can still do this work. And it is profound. So the types of things that shifted for me personally was that I felt safe in the world again. And that was such a big relief to feel safe in the world. And that translated into me feeling like my kids were safe in the world as well. The other thing that happened for me personally out of doing this work was I felt like I could just be present. I went from being like really distracted and my emotions being all over the place and really reactive to different things that were happening in my birth family, to just being like so much more calm and present. And when things were said, or, when things were said that would usually trigger me, it was sort of, it's more like water off a duck's back now. I don't have that same trigger, and it means that I'm not getting distracted and I'm not giving my attention and energy and emotions over to something that I can't control. Instead, I have more peace and balance and presence and strength and groundedness within me. And that means that I can be much more present for my kids, which is, of course, like the point, right? Um, and similarly, I've worked with thousands of clients who have also done this. And the things that people keep telling me over and over again is that they feel so much lighter and that they feel stronger and they feel more able to move forward in their lives. It's like somehow when we do all of this family constellation therapy, they feel like their future path opens up, that it becomes lighter. And it's really powerful and important work, because I don't believe in, you know how people say in personal development, healing world, around like layers of the onion, and you just need to go through one layer after another after another. I don't believe in that, and I don't think that that has to be your experience either. Um, as I said to you, this has been one of the most powerful modalities that I've come across that have actually resolved and healed my trauma in a way that means that I can acknowledge what has happened to me and I'm not still hung up on it. I don't get triggered around it. I've got a level of peace and love and safety within me that means that, yeah, I can be the mum that I want to be, but also feel happy just for me and feel safe in my life. And it's a really big gift, I think, that I gave myself with doing the family constellation therapy. So I just wanted to share about that modality and give some context around it. And I'm really looking forward to our live Q&A. So if you've got questions, and I hope that this video has given you, has opened up more questions than answers. I think that this is an exploration, and yeah, I hope that this has raised a lot of questions for you, and I would absolutely love to hear them when we have our live Q&A time. So please come and join us. I can't wait to connect with you. And if you have any questions along the way, then please feel free to contact me. And again, I really want to acknowledge the fact that you're here and you've signed up for this symposium, Mamahood After Trauma, speaks volumes to me. It tells me that you're in challenging times and you want it to get better, and that you want to get better for your children and to become the mum that you want to be. And I want you to know that it's possible and that it takes a bit of work to get there, but you absolutely can. And yeah, I'm just really present to what it takes to commit to this kind of healing, because I know you might feel like you don't have a choice and that you absolutely have to, but you do have a choice. There are a lot of people out there that have experienced trauma and are a mum and are not doing the work, but you are. And thank you so much for being here and being on this journey together. There's many, many, many of us. You are not alone. And I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. I look forward to connecting with you in our live Q&A.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to tune in to this episode of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. If you would like more of the Mamahood After Trauma community, make sure to look in the description of this episode for the link to become a Mamahood After Trauma Inner Circle member. Until next time, Mama, keep